boys and girls, this is our math lesson for the week. I just actually wanted to come on and give you some reminders before you get started. So there will be 3 new lessons and 2 different homework pages for the 5 days of the week, but they are all going to be with centimeters and meters. So you will need your ruler with your centimeter measurements as well as your meter stick. Okay, so if you have them from last week, go ahead and make sure you have them ready for this week also. The lessons and pages that you do this week are going to remind you of the pages that you did with inches, feet, and yards. They're going to be exactly the same, except you're using centimeters and meters, so a different way to measure. Remember that I said last week that centimeters and meters are used all over the world. The only place that doesn't use them all the time is the United States. So it is very good, in case you ever are traveling, that you know how to use centimeters and meters to measure things. So this week you will start with lesson 8, and you have to decide which tool would be better to use to measure. When we're measuring something that is rather small, it's a good idea to use the smaller tool. So we would use the ruler. If we are measuring something that is longer and bigger, we would use the meter stick. Okay. So you're going to have to decide, should we use the ruler or the meter stick? And then you're going to need to measure the length of it. So based on whatever it is that it's asking you to measure, I'll give you some examples. I have the book here. I was asking you to measure a door, an eraser, a paper clip, a shelf, a rug, a book, lots of things that you would have found at school. So find something at home that is similar. Then you're going to have some word problems. The next lesson is going to ask you if things are shorter or longer than each other. So I have some tools from our science lesson also, and I just want to remind you when we are comparing which word we would use. So if my sentence asked me the string is blank than the Lego, I would say that the string holder is longer than the Lego. Depending on which comes first in the sentence would be whether it's shorter or longer, because if I switch them and I say the Lego is blank than the string holder, the Lego is shorter than the string holder. So both words can be used. It all depends on which item you're talking about. So I would measure them and tell how much shorter or how much longer one of the objects is versus the other. So you're going to be doing that by measuring different objects. If there's something at home that you don't have, when you're using your meter stick or your centimeter ruler, find something that would be about the same length. And the third lesson that you're going to do is using both the centimeter ruler and the meter stick, measuring something in centimeters and measuring it in meters. So to remind you, there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So if you look close, it starts with the 0 and the 1. And when I go all the way to the end, it is 100 centimeters. So I could say that my table here is about 100 centimeters long or 1 meter long. So it's 2 ways, using the same object, 2 ways to measure them. I can use my book and say that my book is about 27 centimeters or about a half of a meter. So when you are looking at the objects in the third lesson this week, which is lesson 10, you're going to notice that they're bigger objects like the door, a chair, a desk, the length of a basketball court, so maybe you could measure something more like your driveway, a hallway, a bike. So some of these things you'll be able to find at home. One more time before I go. Your meter stick and your centimeter ruler are going to be very important this week. And think of it as when we used inches and feet and yards when comparing and measuring, okay? Take your time and have fun, and you can always let me know if you have questions.